Obviously, you talked about it after the game, but it was a good performance from you guys, but there's a disappointment that you weren't able to pull out the win. It kind of seemed somewhat reminiscent of the Dallas game, just in that it was against a really good team on the road, good result, but you could almost have hoped for more. So how do you build off that game while also still, I guess, continuing to work on doing a bit better in those second half performances to not drop results?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you keep analyzing it. You keep learning lessons. In this game in particular, I thought the execution was spot on with regards to how we wanted to play. Really the entire game. Maybe a 10-minute spell in the second half where guys, stopped keeping the ball. So we need to keep working on that and looking at that. Obviously, the moments, the goal we gave up, I would consider that as much as everybody's talking about what a great goal it is. It's not a great goal defensively. That's an easy run to track. You can see it the whole way, so that's a moment we have to do better individually. And then obviously a couple of the moments, the PK and the cross, and one other with Maddox had a pretty good chance. Can we finish those? But when you look at over the 90 minutes, which is the way that I, analyze a game, it's always the moments, but it's the collective in the 90 minutes and the execution and the organization and the mentality. I thought it was a very good game for us, a good performance overall. We showed a lot of the things that I wanted to see, psychologically. I thought we showed a great mentality to start the match, played aggressively. Like I said, the execution from the players and how we wanted to play was there. The confidence, I would say the organization as a whole and the unity and the leadership as well was there. We just got to do better in that one moment defensively, and probably a little bit better keeping the ball to start the second half. So we move on to the next game, but we take with us a lot of positives, and we build on that because it was a good performance.
Caleb, we saw Darlington complete all 52 passes and really be effective thanks to Ben. First of all, how did he come out of the game? Any issues with the hamstring? And is he okay after that 90-minute shift?
Yeah, he's good. Obviously, great game for him. And to be honest with you, I thought, in his role with what we asked him to do and what we wanted out of him, you have to put him in there in the conversation for, man of the match, because ultimately, he didn't score a goal, but he played the role we needed him to play and really played it perfectly without giving up one pass. And, he's very good in that role. It helps when you have Espria when you don't need him to play wide, because Espria is bringing what we need wide as well. And in this situation, obviously, we don't have any holding mid, any guys that can play there, and so he can play that role and keep the ball. You won't get goals out of him, but you might get a second assist. You'll definitely get possession, and you'll get a very good impact out of him in that role.
How big a factor was that in the solid defensive performance, because he can release pressure just on his own sometimes?
Yeah, again, if you want to watch the game and analyze the game and you look at who we're playing and where we're playing, those all factor into, the analysis of, was it a good game, wasn't it? And those are layers that, go into our analysis. Who are you playing, where are you playing, what were you trying to do in the game? And those are things that not everybody's privy to. But I can tell you this, in analyzing the game and analyzing what we wanted to do in the game, and looking at, who we're playing and where we're playing, I don't know how you could think anything else other than it was a good performance with a mistake on the goal. And we scored a PK and we get out of there with 3 points, but you can't hindsight United those moments too much, because the overall execution and performance was extremely good, and Darlington definitely played a big part in that. And I thought Ben Zemanski as well, who hasn't played all year, got around the park and covered a lot of ground and won balls, and those two guys in particular hadn't played together at all. And I don't know if people realize how difficult that is to follow up a performance like we did on the road against the best team in the West after we've given up a disappointing result, and to come out and to play as confidently as we did with new pieces in the lineup, and to show that organization, to show the mentality that we showed. That says everything about, you know, the team that we have and the players that we have, and, you know, I would say the staff as well, in terms of making sure we turn this group around and get them ready to play this game. And yeah, we're never satisfied with a draw, but in the end, I can accept that performance because I know what we were looking to do out of the game.
Turn around against a hot team like Chicago.
Yeah, best team in the league. They are the best team in the league, and they're in the best form of any team in the league. So they're at the top of the table, the entire league, and they haven't been beaten in 10 games. And they're in form, and they're playing extremely well. They've added some pieces in the offseason, and that's made them a completely different team. And we have quite a challenge for sure. We're the underdogs. We have 8 players out in this game, including the guys away from international duty and the injuries. You know, 4 or 5 of those guys are starters. You know, so we have quite a challenge, but I know that I have a team that's up for the challenge, and I know they'll relish and look forward, you know, to trying to knock off the best team in the league.
What are they doing well, and maybe what have the new additions allowed them to do in terms of possessing and build up that have made them successful so far?
I think mostly it's personnel. You know, they added some really good pieces, guys with experience, guys that are good players. Dax McCarty, Schweinsteiger, Bastian Schweinsteiger. I mean, come on, this guy's a world-class player, and you know, Juninho and the guy Nikolic, who's quietly, I don't know how, but you know, leading the league in scoring. You know, he's just a finisher. And David Akam, who I've always felt is one of the best wingers in the league. So it's no surprise when you look at the personnel. They have a really good group of guys, extremely good players. And when you have good players, you're usually going to play pretty well, and you're going to win a lot of games. And that's what I see in their team. I think the coach as well deserves a lot of credit for getting them to keep the ball a lot. And you know, for me, just that brings out the talent in their team.